The sun rises over the mountains, and the mist clings to the pines as if reluctant to let go of the night. The world awakens in silence, yet in the silence there is a whisper only the warrior hears. It is the whisper of struggle, the reminder that today is not won by chance, but by battle. And so I ask you, when the alarm calls tomorrow, will you rise at once, or will you let comfort chain you? Plant your feet on the floor before hesitation takes root. That is your first victory. Not the battle of steel against steel, but the battles unseen. The 5 battles that shape every man, every day, whether he chooses to fight or not. The first duel is not fought on the field. It is fought in the silence of dawn. The futon is warm, the air is cold. Comfort whispers, "Stay." But a warrior does not make treaties with weakness. The day is decided in the first breath after waking. Rise late, and you carry hesitation into every strike. Rise instantly, and you carry decisiveness into every step. The samurai rose with the sun, not because the sun commanded them, but because they commanded themselves. They knew that delay in the morning is delay in life. The pine does not wait to stretch upward. The river does not wait to begin its flow. The sun does not delay its rise. Why should you? When the alarm calls, rise instantly. Do not think, do not delay. Stand, breathe, and claim the day before it slips from you. The Hagakure teaches, if one is faced with 2 options of life or death, simply settle for death. This was not despair, but decisiveness, a command to act without hesitation, to live already free from fear. And so rising in the morning is more than leaving the futon. It is practice. Practice in dying to weakness. Practice in cutting hesitation before it takes root. Practice in walking forward when the mind longs to retreat. Each day you rise instantly. You sharpen the blade of decisiveness. Each dawn becomes a silent duel between life and death, one in the space of a breath. The sun has already risen. Why should you remain buried? The body is temple, armor, and blade. A dull body cannot carry a sharp mind. The samurai trained endlessly, cutting bamboo until their shoulders screamed, drawing the bow until their fingers bled, riding until their thighs no longer trembled. They did not train for admiration. They trained because weakness of flesh is betrayal of the spirit. Indulgence is the enemy here. Too much food, too much drink, too much rest. Each one rots the vessel from within. Discipline is the antidote. Movement, sweat, strain. These are the fires that temper the body like steel. The pine endures the storm not because it resists, but because it is strong enough to bend without breaking. The warrior's body must be the same. Resilient, steady, hardened through use. Move your body daily. Stretch, strike, lift, or run. But burn through comfort until sweat has touched your skin. Each drop is proof that weakness has been cut away. The Budo Shoshinshu reminds us, the warrior's duty is to train morning and evening without fail. Not for praise, not for victory, but because strength itself is loyalty to the path. The body is the bow, the mind is the arrow. Without a strong bow, the arrow cannot fly true. Consider the forge. Iron only becomes steel when beaten, heated, folded again and again. So must the body be hammered daily in the furnace of strain. Every ache is proof you have walked the path. Every bead of sweat is a seal of discipline. This is why the warrior does not complain when the body cries out. He knows that pain is a teacher, not an enemy. To move the body daily is to declare, I am not here to rust. I am here to endure. The third battle is waged not against the body, but against the swarm of distractions that claw at the mind. The unfocused man is like a shattered blade, scattering in every direction, cutting nothing true. The warrior sharpens his gaze like the hawk. The hawk does not chase every sparrow. It waits, it watches. It strikes only once, and it does not miss. The samurai meditated to still their thoughts. They knew the sword cannot be steady if the mind is scattered. Silence was their forge. Clarity was their weapon. And yet, in our world, distractions multiply like locusts. Endless noise, endless screens, endless demands. Each one steals a fragment of attention until nothing remains sharp. The warrior must cut them down. Narrow the gaze, one target, one strike, one purpose. Decide on one task today that matters most. Write it, face it, complete it before you touch anything else. That single cut defines the strength of your mind. The Heiho Kadensho teaches, if you chase 2 hares, you will not catch even one. A truth as sharp as any blade. To scatter attention is to scatter strength. Distraction is a thief dressed in many forms. It does not storm the gates. It seeps through cracks, steals minutes, devours hours, and leaves nothing. The warrior narrows his gaze. He waits like the hawk. The hawk does not dive at every shadow. It waits, it chooses, it strikes once, and it does not miss. So too must you learn to wait. To hold your energy like an arrow pulled taut. To release it only when the target is clear. Focus is the mark of mastery. The strike is not powerful because it is many, but because it is one. The 4th battle is the battle of the heart. Anger, fear, sorrow. They rise like smoke, clouding the eye, trembling the hand, weighing the spirit. Left uncontrolled, they are storms that tear the warrior apart. Mastered, they are winds that fill his sails. The samurai carried death in their minds each day, not with despair, but with acceptance. They meditated upon it so fear would never command them. For the man who accepts death lives free. Anger unchecked is a sword swung blind, cutting friend and foe alike. But when tempered, it becomes fire, heat that forges resolve. Fear, when mastered, sharpens awareness. Sorrow, when carried with dignity, becomes depth of soul. The blade is not destroyed by the fire. It is hardened by it. The warrior must be the same. When emotion rises, breathe once before acting. Inhale, hold, release. Then act with precision, not impulse. This breath is the line between mastery and ruin. The unfettered mind teaches. If the mind stops with things, the mind will be taken by those things. Anger, fear, sorrow. They all beg the mind to stop, to cling, to drown. But the warrior does not stop. He breathes. He lets the river flow. Anger becomes clarity when tempered. Fear becomes awareness when accepted. Sorrow becomes depth when carried with dignity. The blade does not shatter in the fire. It is hardened by it. So too must the warrior be. Emotions are not the enemy. They are the raw ore. Without fire, there is no steel. Without emotion, there is no depth. But raw ore must be refined, or it remains useless stone. Master your breath, and you master your flame. The 5th battle is the deepest, and it is endless. It is fought in silence. It is fought when no one is watching. It is fought when repetition dulls the senses and progress hides from sight. Here the true warrior is revealed. Many men begin with fire. Few endure with patience. The will is not forged in moments of glory, but in hours of monotony. The samurai knew this. They spent years perfecting a single strike. Endless hours cutting through the air, gestures unseen, movements unpraised. The ordinary man flees boredom. The warrior embraces it, for he knows that monotony is the whetstone that sharpens the soul. Choose one small act of discipline and repeat it daily. Do it even when unseen, even when unrewarded. In this silence, true mastery is forged. The Hagakure says, matters of small concern should be treated with seriousness. For mastery is not the fruit of grand gestures. It is born in the soil of repetition. The act repeated when no one watches. The discipline carried when no one applauds. The samurai perfected a single cut through endless hours of practice. Alone, unseen, unheard, until the movement was no longer practice, but nature itself. The ordinary man flees monotony. The warrior embraces it, because he knows that monotony is the whetstone of the soul. It is in boredom that weakness breaks. It is in repetition that strength is carved. It is in silence that endurance is tested. And so, the warrior returns each day to the same act. He cuts again, he breathes again, he endures again. And in that endless return, he becomes unbreakable. The 5 battles circle each day. They are never finished. Each sunrise resets the field. Yesterday's victories do not win today. Tomorrow does not promise triumph. Every dawn is a new duel. But the warrior does not lament this. He embraces it. Because through daily battles, fought and won, he becomes unyielding. Do not ask when the struggle ends. It does not. Do not hope for comfort. It weakens you. Do not wish for ease. It will betray you. Instead, embrace the path of steady war, the war within. Musashi walked it alone. He fought duels with nothing but a carved oar and an unshaken spirit. His strength was not in trickery, but in clarity. He knew that mastery was not a single act, but the accumulation of 1,000 unseen victories. And now I turn to you. You who hear these words. You who will wake tomorrow. When the alarm calls, will you rise or will you surrender? When the body aches, will you move or will you fold? When distractions swarm, will you scatter or will you strike true? When emotions burn, will you be consumed or will you master them? When the grind weighs, will you break or will you endure? The pine still stands, the hawk still circles, the river still cuts its path, and the warrior still walks, alone, unshaken, undefeated. Rise, forge, focus, endure, master. Win the 5 daily battles, and nothing in this world can conquer you. The blade returns to its sheath, the path stretches on, and the question remains, will you walk it?